Disgrace by J.M. Coetzee. Chapter 17. Their work at the clinic is over for the Sunday. The combi is loaded with its dead freight. As a last chore, he is mopping the floor of the surgery. "I'll do that," says Bev Shaw, coming in from the yard. "You'll be wanting to get back." "I'm in no hurry." "Still, you must be used to a different kind of life." "A different kind of life? I didn't know life came in kinds." "I mean, you must find life very dull here. You must miss your own circle. You must miss having women friends." "Women friends, you say? Surely Lucy told you why I left Cape Town. Women friends didn't bring me much luck there." "You shouldn't be hard on her." "Hard on Lucy? I don't have it in me to be hard on Lucy." "Not Lucy, the young woman in Cape Town. Lucy says there was a young woman who caused you a lot of trouble." "Yes, there was a young woman, but I was the troublemaker in that case. I caused the young woman in question at least as much trouble as she caused me." "Lucy says you have had to give up your position at the university. That must have been difficult. Do you regret it?" What nosiness! Curious how the whiff of scandal excites women. Does this plain little creature think him incapable of shocking her? Or is being shocked another of the duties she takes on, like a nun who lies down to be violated, so that the quota of violation in the world will be reduced? Do I regret it? I don't know. What happened in Cape Town brought me here. I'm not unhappy here. But at the time, did you regret it at the time? At the time? Do you mean in the heat of the act? Of course not. In the heat of the act there are no doubts, as I'm sure you must know yourself. She blushes. A long time since he last saw a woman of middle age blush so thoroughly, to the roots of her hair. "Still, you must find Grahamstown very quiet," she murmurs, "by comparison." "I don't mind Grahamstown. At least I am out of the way of temptation. Besides, I don't live in Grahamstown. I live on a farm with my daughter." Out of the way of temptation. A callous thing to say to a woman, even a plain one. Yet not plain in everyone's eyes. There must have been a time when Bill Shaw saw something in young Bev. Other men too, perhaps. He tries to imagine her 20 years younger, when the upturned face on its short neck must have seemed pert, and the freckled skin homely, healthy. On an impulse, he reaches out and runs a finger over her lips. She lowers her eyes, but does not flinch. On the contrary, she responds, brushing her lips against his hand, even, it might be said, kissing it, while blushing furiously all the time. That is all that happens. That is as far as they go. Without another word, he leaves the clinic. Behind him, he hears her switching off the lights. The next afternoon, there is a call from her. "Can we meet at the clinic at 4?" she says. Not a question, but an announcement, made in an high, strange voice. Almost he asks, why? But then he has the good sense not to. Nonetheless, he is surprised. He would bet she has not been down this road before. This must be how, in her innocence, she assumes adulteries are carried out, with the woman telephoning her pursuer, declaring herself ready. The clinic is not open on Mondays. He lets himself in, turns the key behind him in the lock. Bev Shaw is in the surgery, standing with her back to him. He folds her in his arms. She nuzzles her ear against his chin. His lips brush the tight little curls of her hair. "There are blankets," she says, "in the cabinet, on the bottom shelf." 2 blankets, one pink, one grey, smuggled from her home by a woman who in the last hour has probably bathed and powdered and anointed herself in readiness, who has, for all he knows, been powdering and anointing herself every Sunday and storing blankets in the cabinet just in case, who thinks, because he comes from the big city, because there is scandal attached to his name, that he makes love to many women and expects to be made love to by every woman who crosses his path. The choice is between the operating table and the floor. He spreads out the blankets on the floor, the grey blanket underneath, the pink on top. He switches off the light, leaves the room, checks that the back door is locked, waits. He hears the rustle of clothes as she undresses. Bev. Never did he dream he would sleep with a Bev. She is lying under the blanket with only her head sticking out. Even in the dimness, there is nothing charming in the sight. Slipping off his underpants, he gets in beside her, runs his hands down her body. She has no breast to speak of, sturdy, almost waistless, like a squat little tub. She grasps his hand, passes him something, a contraceptive, all thought out beforehand from beginning to end. Of their congress, he can at least say that he does his duty, without passion, but without distaste either, so that in the end, Bev sure can feel pleased with herself. All she intended has been accomplished. He, David Lurie, has been succored, as a man is succored by a woman. Her friend, Lucy Lurie, has been helped with a difficult visit. Let me not forget this day, he tells himself, lying beside her when they are spent. After the sweet young flesh of Melanie Isaacs, this is what I have come to. This is what I will have to get used to. This and even less than this. It's late, says Bev Shaw. I must be going. He pushes the blanket aside and gets up, making no effort to hide himself. Let her gaze her fill on her Romeo, he thinks, on his bowed shoulders and skinny shanks. It is indeed late. On the horizon lies a last crimson glow. The moon looms overhead. Smoke hangs in the air. Across a strip of wasteland, from the first rows of shacks comes a hubbub of voices. At the door, Bev presses herself against him a last time, rests her head on his chest. He lets her do it, as he has let her do everything she has felt a need to do. His thoughts go to Emma Bovary, strutting before the mirror after her first big afternoon. I have a lover. I have a lover, sings Emma to herself. Well, let poor Bev Shaw go home and do some singing too, and let him stop calling her poor Bev Shaw. If she is poor, he is bankrupt.